So I kind of just want you to go back to the moment that you were speaking with me in that first call, that first one call before we even started working together, and go back to that moment and just like where were you both personally and physically, both together, emotionally, with your female health? How was that? Like, what was your biggest challenges, your biggest frustrations? How was that impacting your day to day?
Yeah, looking back on that time, I feel like I was just really frustrated and I didn't really like I knew that there was a solution, but I didn't like I couldn't grasp it yet. And it was really like affecting me with what I was doing for work. I just didn't feel satisfied and I just kind of felt like annoyed at my body.
And in terms of symptoms and little things that were popping up every day, like what were the things that you had that you still like, it's just not going away?
PMS was really still something that was significant. My breasts were really tender before my periods, like to the point where like it hurt like to wear like bras and stuff. And I would get like cramping on and off. And it was just like to the point where right before my period and during my period, it's like I almost couldn't like function properly in life without taking my doll or like just getting myself through the day. It wasn't easy.
If you could go even deeper on that, why did all of these things that you were experiencing were making you or leaving you so frustrated?
I think because I just didn't understand my body as well as I thought that I did. I didn't even understand why some of the things I was experiencing were
Like,
going on.
and so you knew kind of like you already had that sense of like deep knowing that like I need to do something about it.
Yeah, like I already was familiar with like living cyclically, but I didn't really grasp it yet. I didn't really get it. I kind of was just like, oh yeah, I'll just tweak a couple different things and then it'll be all fixed and that's it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, like hoping for the oh, it's just a little thing, like the miracle
Yeah,
cure.
I'll take this supplement and that'll do it. Or exercise more and that'll make me lose weight. It was just like a whole like toxic kind of like I thought those things were gonna fix it.
Were there other impacts in your life, like apart from work?
It affected my relationship with myself because I just kept beating myself up over and over again.
Like in that loop of self-deprecating
Yeah.
thoughts. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
If you can be a little bit specific, what were all of the things that you were trying up to that point that just didn't work for you and you were putting all of the hopes on that?
Well, I was doing hit exercise, like I was doing CrossFit pretty much every single day or spin class. I was definitely under eating and then like binge eating at times or just like overeating the wrong things because I had restricted so much. I was trying different supplements. I'm trying to think back what else I was doing. I was like reading different books to see if those would help, but they were so confusing because I couldn't put the pieces together.
Yeah. What was that moment that got you to like jump the gun and decide to work with me? Like, what was that moment?
You had emailed me and said that we could do just like a simple one-on-one and kind of like get me to like the next level in my life. And it didn't feel like so overwhelming. And so that's when I was like, all right, this seems like manageable. Like I can do this and this will be like a good starting point for me.
Okay. And how did you feel in that moment that you said yes?
I felt excited and like relieved.
Relieved. Yes. Like someone took the weight off your shoulders for a little second.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it was more just like I was so overwhelmed that I didn't really know exactly what to do, but I didn't want to do anything that was too like complicated in my head, you know.
So then what would you say about the sessions that we had 101? How did they feel?
They felt really good and like informative and I felt like I got the information that I was looking for and I was able to really just like digest it on my own and work it into my life like as I felt fit.
So what would you say then to like, because I'm sure that you've been in the position where like, I will do it all myself. I will figure it out. I can just, I don't need help. I don't need support. Like, what would you say to any woman who's really struggling, just trying to continuously implement everything by herself, but like really getting nowhere with that?
Is it worth it to keep doing everything yourself and not getting results? Or would it be more beneficial to just try out having somebody help you and see if that would make a difference for you? It takes the weight off of you. And I feel like a lot of women don't ask for help when they need it.
How do you feel about your progress now?
Oh, I feel like very relieved that I finished that. Not that I finished that, but like I got through that hump. I don't think I'd want to go back to that starting point.
How does life look like for you right now with those symptoms going away or at least being diminished and being more comfortable with yourself, finding being comfortable with setting the boundaries? Like, how does life look like now with that progress in place?
I think it just looks like more optimistic. I don't feel as heavy. I don't feel as like stressed about it. I mean, I still have moments, obviously, but I feel like overall it just feels a lot lighter
Mm.
and hopeful.
Because that's really, really good to clear up. It's like, it's not that life doesn't have challenges. It's like you just go through them with more ease.
I don't get any breast tenderness at all anymore. If I do get cramping, it's like it's very minor. I don't have to take any pain medicine or anything like that. So that's really good. And then I feel like the mood swings are just way more manageable. I wouldn't even call them mood swings anymore. I would just say, like, I notice before my period that I just feel a little bit more inward, and I just keep to myself more rather than trying to push forward and then getting frustrated or just feeling like overwhelmed. It's a lot easier to kind of schedule out like what I'm going to need to be doing.
What would you say to someone from your own perspective of your own journey, someone who's on the fence about like starting their healing journey by investing in help, for example?
What are they worried about? And if they want to make changes and they want to feel better in a year, then they should definitely start their journey now, because if they don't start now, they're going to be in the same place they are right now in another year. Do they really want to go through another year of feeling crappy or feeling half as good as they could feel?
So what was your experience then while working with me?
It was helpful. I felt like I got a lot of information. Like I always was able to, like, if I had something that, wasn't going right, like with my eating and stuff, like I brought it up to you. And then it was just having that extra support was really beneficial, because then I wasn't all alone and I didn't feel as like, oh crap, this is going on right now. Like, what the hell is it? I was able to be like, okay, if it still goes on, I can bring it up like next month.
Okay, so having someone in your corner changed the way you even felt about what you were doing on a day to day.
Yeah, instead of getting like putting pressure or feeling overwhelmed or being like, oh my God, why am I having this symptom? Why do I feel this way? It was like, okay, I'm just going to note it and kind of keep going and see like what happens. And then I know that I have someone to reach out to, like if I need extra help.
Which immediately kind of takes like the maybe fight or flight response out of the body. You're able to do things with more ease and like with a calmness that doesn't keep your hormones like on a loop of chaotic mess.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, was there anything that surprised you?
I think I was surprised at how like willingly I was like okay to let go of like products that I loved or like
Mm.
I really enjoyed doing. Like if last year you told me I wouldn't be going to CrossFit every single morning, I would have been like, yeah, you're insane. Like I have to do that. There's no way I'm not going to do that. And now it's like, I think to myself, like, I can't even imagine waking up and being exhausted and taking pre-workout and going to that gym. And, it just changed a lot of like viewpoints that I had. So I was really surprised at like how I just didn't mind changing certain things.
In a way, like you are like the higher self that you wanted to achieve, like let's say 7 or 8 months before. And like that higher self was ready for you to be like, no, we're doing this faith-based exercising, and that's how you're gonna thrive, Cassandra. But like you're here just like, no, because if I don't do this every morning, I'm gonna gain more weight. And it's so clouded by the societal view of how to do things to achieve results that you don't even see like how to get there. So it's interesting that you're saying that, because suddenly, as you were doing the work, that clarity came in. It's like, holy shit, I don't need to be this person anymore. In fact, it doesn't allow me to take go into my next step or whatever that is, the upgrade.
Yeah. And it's like you fight with yourself on it and you make it harder than it needs to be, because you're like, no, 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 I have to do this because this has always worked. And it's like, well, it really hasn't worked if you're in this position. And it was just hard for me to wrap my head around that.
Okay, I have a really important question for you. Would you say that you have been kinder to yourself and have improved some of the self-love compared to like
Yeah.
6 months before?
Yeah, definitely. I've been a lot like kinder to myself. I mean, that's still a work in progress too. I feel like as women, we just beat ourselves up so easily. But I catch myself a lot more where I'm like, okay, you don't have to get up at this time. Like if you slept a little bit more, you must have needed it. You can still accomplish everything that you need to in the day rather than being like, oh, I didn't get up at X amount of time. So now my whole day is ruined because I didn't get up because I was being lazy. It's like I don't think that way as much anymore. Doing more does not equal getting more.
Is there anything else that you want to say from your heart?
I think that I just, you were so helpful and transformative for me and my journey. And I just really like have appreciated being able to work with you and all of the effort that you put into all of those, slides that went into each topic. And those were really helpful. And I mean, anyone that gets to work with you is so lucky. So